What's up guys and welcome back. Today we're going to be looking at a new comic book series. This is Bloodborne, A Song of Crows. Now this follows on from the previous series, The Healing First, which consisted of issues 5 to 8. So this one's going to be issues 9 to 12. Once again, these are written and illustrated by Ales Kot and Peter Kowalski. Now if you haven't guessed, this one is based around the character of Eileen the Crow. Now this is a character that shows up frequently throughout the game. She's this aged woman, it seems by her voice, and she dresses in this like crow outfit which looks really cool. Looks almost like one of those like Venetian doctors from the Assassin's Creed series. But before we get into the review of the comic, I'm going to show you the variant covers because there's 3 for this one. Previously the first issue of the set normally comes with 4 covers, but now this time it's coming with 3. So this is the primary cover, cover A. Now this one shows Eileen the Crow Lady just looking down over the city of Yharnam in like the clock towers and the bridges, and you can see the pale blood moon behind her, and the sky's red, and yeah, it just looks really cool. She looks like she's ready for war, ready to battle some Yharnam monsters. So yeah, that's the primary cover, so yeah, do really like this one. Second up we have cover B. Now this one focuses on Eileen the Crow Hunter, and she looks like she's walking away from a few like wolf beasts which seem to be wanting to eat her, and she's just like walking away casually with the like fire sticks. So yeah, that's cover B. It's got the little inscription of the illustrator's name there too, so that one's pretty cool. It paints her as pretty much of a badass. And the final cover for A Song of Crows issue 9 is one that we see Eileen down here in the depths of Yharnam, which looks like the sewer area of the game, which is one you encounter pretty early in the game. I'm not sure if you see her down there for the first time, but it's a really cool image. It looks very like gothic and almost like something you'd see in like an Alien movie. It looks kind of Geiger-esque, but yeah, it's a really cool cover. I think my favourite one is probably the primary one of cover A though. So with this being about Eileen the Crow, A Song of Crows, this is basically her introduction in comic form. We get a bit more about her character. Straight away, the first image in this comic is some gorgeous imagery of a snow-capped Yharnam. We see Eileen walking through the snow into what seems like some sort of cemetery sort of place. We see the purple sky with the pale blood moon in the background, and that just like transits with the snow on the ground, and it just looks amazing. It's something we haven't really seen in the game other than in Cainhurst Castle, but then again the sky doesn't look like that in the game. When we see Eileen, she seems to be going through some kind of time dissonance, or she doesn't know where she is or what time she is. I'm not sure if this has to play in with her age in the game or just her mental state, but she keeps saying, what time is it, where am I? And this is like a really interesting theme, if there is some kind of time travel involved with this series, or if it's just alluding to that she's going through some kind of inner turmoil within her head. Once again, the writing's always really cool in this, and one of the quotes from this section which digs into this time dissonance thing is where Eileen says, "For time is the deepest grave as all," and I really like that quote. We see that Eileen has a purpose here. We're not really sure on it straight off, but she seems to be burying the dead bodies found in Yharnam just because it's the right thing to do, or she says it's something to do with like a ritual, maybe like a passing into like the afterlife or something. Maybe she has strong beliefs in a certain thing we don't quite understand just yet. And this gives us some really grotesque, awesome imagery of just all these piled up bodies just being buried in the snow, which is probably not a pleasant thing. I know they're already dead, but being buried under ice is yeah, it's not a nice way to be buried, I guess. And we see this in like a 2-spread image, and it's just a gorgeous shot of like the snow, all these bodies, and then the purple sky. So it's like a mix of like this awesome imagery and like beautiful scenery with this just grotesque pile of corpses. Now one thing we haven't seen in the previous comics is just like this really grotesque gore, and in this one we finally get something that's really, really violent. We see a body that's kind of strapped to a gravestone with its head cut off, and the intestines have just been pulled out and just like spread across like these gravestones, and I'm assuming this is some kind of ritual because Eileen finds something within the corpse which leads to some more clues and some more questions we have about what's going to happen in this series. And it also just leaves you wanting more about what's happened, who did this, and where is this story going to go in the future. We get a little bit of backstory on Eileen's character in a flashback which is all in black and white, which looks really cool. We see her with another person as a child. I'm assuming this is a friend of hers, and it doesn't end well for this guy, let me tell you that, and it seems to be haunting her dreams. These flashbacks are her dreams, really. She's seeing these horrible events over and over again in her dreams, which also adds to the whole time thing. She keeps getting trapped between her past that's haunting her. There's a lot of cool transitions between different parts of the story. In this one we see a spiraling piece of ice water on the floor, which is like in a circle, and then the next image on the next panel is of like a coiled up snake, which I'm assuming has something to do with the snakes we find in the forest in Yharnam, and this perhaps gives us a little bit more information on the ritual of the corpse strapped to the gravestone, and just a reason for some of the things that might have been happening in Yharnam altogether, like the origins of what's happened really. So all of the things we see in this sets Eileen on what might be a final mission. We find out that she's not very well, if you hadn't assumed that already just by her mental state, but she wants to try and track down and find someone. Now in the game you'd assume that would be your hunter, but I'm not sure if this is going to go in a different route in the comic series, if she's looking for a certain character we've already met before, or just a completely new character altogether. Either way, it makes me interested in finding out what's next. I can't wait for issue 10. The art is just spectacular in this issue. I just love the use of colours. They did it in the last series when I saw a lot more of these like blues and dark purple hues, but they've even like gone above that with this one. You see all this like beautiful scenery of like the snow falling with the purple background, and I just love it. And the indoors of the houses are even like really purple lit. I don't know if that's what they're going for. I don't know what sort of theme that is, but I really love the look of it. And I just recently watched Crimson Peak by Guillermo del Toro, and I love the look of that movie, and it seems like Bloodborne is kind of channeling that sort of vibe. There's like a juxtaposition between the snow and the sun, and I really love how they're doing that, and I really can't wait to see where the story goes with the next 3 issues. I really love the way it's written and just what they're exploring with the whole time thing and what's going on with Eileen really, so I'm really intrigued to see what's going on with her as a character. So I guess that's it for this review of issue 9. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed a look at the covers. I will be doing every issue for the series and probably the next series after that too, so if this is your first time checking out my channel, I do have reviews for the previous 2 series on there already, and yeah, just let me know your thoughts on the comic down below, and yeah, I'll see you guys with issue 10 coming next month.